Here we go.
Hey guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Andy.
And today we're going to be kicking off a new series where we go through every phase of the MCU. This is easily one of our favorite franchises, so since we have a little bit of downtime with big releases, we wanted to go through our favorite franchise. So let's get right into it. So the first movie we're going to talk about today is Iron Man. Came out in 2008, and it's the movie that started it all for the MCU.
Yeah, great damn movie. I love this movie. In my top 5 still.
Yeah, it still is for me as well.
And Robert Downey Jr., truly born to play this role. My favorite MCU performance of all the movies.
It's up there for me.
Yeah, it's so freaking good. I love his chemistry, like bouncing back with Gwyneth as Pepper Potts, early stages of their relationship. Great stuff. Him and Terrence Howard, funny.
Short-lived in the MCU, replaced by Don Cheadle, but he does a great job in this movie.
Next time, baby.
Love that line.
I think that Jeff Bridges as the villain, great villain. He's one of my favorites, actually.
He's probably in the top 10 MCU villains for me. He gives such a great performance, and my favorite line he gives is when he's yelling at that guy.
Yeah.
Tony Stark built this in a cave.
And it
with
comes
boxes
back.
Scraps. Yeah, and it comes back in Far From Home. But.
That's a good ass scene, and he's a great villain. He's like the perfect first superhero movie villain for Tony Stark, like kind of like that father figure, but jealous of him at the same time. And the Ironmonger suit is cool.
Oh yeah, everything about it. My favorite aspects of the movie would probably be when he escapes from the Middle East. Oh, yeah. And he builds the homemade suit. All that is awesome.
Yeah, with the 10 rings and all that stuff, that's going to come back in the future of the MCU, which we'll talk about in Iron Man 3. But I thought that the whole scene when he came back to the Middle East, too, in his first Iron Man suit, when he shoots the tank, I love that damn
It's
moment.
so iconic.
And he comes in, it's so clean, how he lands and just kills the people, no music or anything.
Yeah.
Great movie overall. And that final speech with him, I am Iron Man, I love that damn ending.
It's probably one of my favorite endings in the MCU to one of my favorite movies in the MCU.
And also, one more point, great after credit scene. Starting it all with Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Very shocking, and it's probably still one of the best after credit scenes.
Yeah, definitely. I love the first Iron Man. It's definitely the best of the 3 Iron Man. And Robert Downey Jr. is so freaking good in this role.
So the next movie we're going to talk about is The Incredible Hulk, which also came out in 2008. And this movie is... It's not my least favorite in the MCU, but it's extremely close.
Yeah, it's my second least favorite in the MCU, and Edward Norton does no help to make it better at all. I think that he's pretty awkward in the role.
He is. Mark Ruffalo is just so much better, and you see so much more from the MCU that, unfortunately, this movie is very forgettable as a result.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, and I don't really remember much from it. I mean, I remember it, but, I haven't rewatched it. It's not, memorable like the first Cap or the first Iron Man. There's some cool scenes with the Hulk, especially at the end when he's fighting and on the college campus.
Yeah, those are both standout scenes, and Abomination is a decent villain. I like Tim Roth as an actor, so seeing him in the role is pretty fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the final shot of him when he opens his eyes and they're green, that's really cool how it shows you can control it. And then the cameo by Robert Downey Jr. at the very end is probably the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Connecting it to Iron Man in a way and setting up the Avengers. But other than that, this movie really just falls flat.
Yeah, and really none of this comes back into the MCU except Everett Ross, or is that his name? Or
General Ross.
Yeah, General Ross. He's a decent character in this. He comes back later in the MCU in Civil War and stuff, but overall, very forgettable movie.
Yeah, that is. So the next movie we're going to talk about is Iron Man 2, which came out in 2010 and was a highly anticipated sequel that unfortunately let me down.
Once again, forgettable movie. These two movies weren't that strong, back to back, which is surprising, how successful the MCU is.
Yeah.
Normally nowadays, if you do that, it would be canceled like that. But Iron Man 2, great stuff. Don Cheadle coming in as War Machine, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the standouts of the movie, and the introduction of Black Widow. I love Natasha Romanoff as a character.
Yep.
And I like the way they brought her in.
Yeah, she's really cool in this movie. I like when she fights all those guys with Happy.
Yeah.
And she takes them all down, he takes down one. Some good stuff with the scene whenever Tony Stark watches his dad's video.
Yeah, that's
You're my
good.
best creation. I like that a lot.
I like that, and my favorite scene in the movie is probably when they're on the racetrack and he fights Whiplash, who's the villain in this movie for the first time. Very lame villain, but a cool fight scene.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke is okay in the role. Nothing special at all, really, though.
Sam Rockwell is very funny in this role too, but he's also
Justin
forgettable.
Hammer.
He's just that lame he's that basic villain, of course. But I think that also my favorite scene from this movie is that scene when Rhodey and Iron Man are fighting back to back against all the bots.
That is awesome.
That's a good ass action scene,
Mhm.
and that suit up too with the box.
Yeah,
with the
that's
suitcase. Cool. I love that.
Very cool. And overall, this movie just falls flat. While there are cool moments, but it's really just a setup movie for the Avengers.
Yeah, and the bottom three for me.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is Thor, which came out in 2011, and this is a pretty damn fun movie, I think.
It is. The first 30 minutes are extremely solid, and I'm locked in. And then the movie has a drastic tonal shift when Thor's character gets sent to Earth. And from there, it just becomes a decent movie.
Yeah, those first 30 minutes are dang good. Setting up Thor, like, he has the helmet on, he looks real cool.
Oh, yeah. The battle with the Frost Giants.
Yeah, that's a good-ass battle, I think it is. And the whole, like, Loki setup, setting up Loki, and Anthony Hopkins, great, he can't do no wrong. I really like the first 30 minutes. And Heimdall, too, really cool character.
Awesome
I like
supporting character.
And the Warriors 3, they were cool at first, but then they fiddled off as the series went on.
Yeah, I agree. And then when Thor does get down to Earth, you're introduced to Jane and Dr. Eric Selvig and Darcy, who are the three characters that are with him on Earth during the movie. What do you think of them?
I think that Jane is alright. I mean, I know she's going to be Thor in Thor Love and Thunder, which will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Darcy, a bit annoying, and Eric Selvig, he's interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of the brains behind the whole operation.
Yeah.
And I like every time he's talking because I like Stellan Skarsgård so much. But his character's, he's alright.
Yeah, I can relate with that.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole hammer coming down, everybody trying to lift it, and then Thor finally goes in there to get it. Hawkeye's first scene in the MCU. Good scene.
Yeah, he is.
And it's just cool to see him up in the box, and he says, I'm starting to root for this guy, so you better call it. Great scene.
Oh, yeah.
And it just sets up like him and Thor's relationship in the future, even though they're not best friends, but they are Avengers.
Yeah.
So good to see him there.
Mm-hmm. As with most of the Phase 1 movies, it's another stepping stone towards the Avengers, and overall it's a solid entry in the MCU. It's not in my top 10, it's not very close to the bottom. It's almost right in the middle for me.
Yeah, definitely in the middle for me too. I think Loki is a pretty damn good villain, even though he's more of a villain in Avengers. I think that the whole like final battle with him is pretty decent.
Yeah. Overall, a solid movie, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. Solid for sure.
So next up is Captain America: The First Avenger, which also came out in 2011. And this movie introduced us to Steve Rogers, a.k.a. Captain America, one of the most beloved characters in the MCU.
Yeah, he's my favorite character for sure, my favorite character. I like his arc in this movie a lot. I like how he starts off as like the little scrawny guy, built up into the big guy, seeing him come out of that machine, great reveal, and then that whole chase scene too. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And while he's not my favorite character in the MCU, he definitely is in the top 5.
Yeah, I just like how badass he is, and like as his character throughout the whole series evolves, you just see it, like what he goes through and everything, and how much he cares about Peggy, another great character in this movie. I love their relationship a lot.
It is, and then once you see Endgame, this movie, it just feels almost better because you see the final payoff, and it's just such clever writing all throughout the MCU.
Yeah, it really is. They really had it mapped out. But something I love about this movie is the villain.
Yeah.
Red Skull, such a good villain to me.
He is a solid villain. Hugo Weaving plays him, I believe.
And I think that, yeah, he does. And I think that Infinity War and Endgame made him better. It's cool to see, like, when he touches this space stone at the end, and then he goes up. And now you know where he went, to Vormir.
Yeah, seeing him as the Stonekeeper really adds another element to his character.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. And he, like, even says in that movie, to Cap, you could have the power of gods. Comes back with the hammer. But I love the whole, like, montages through World War II. It's some cool stuff to see, like, when they're on the train and when Bucky dies.
Yeah.
It's some cool stuff, but overall, this is, like, a solid... Like, the action in this movie is solid. Captain America's action, like, gets better throughout the whole series, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and then the ending of this movie is absolutely crazy.
Oh, yeah.
When he goes under the ice for 70 years, and then he wakes up, and he's in modern-day New York. And Nick Fury's there, and then he's out in the street, and then he asks him, he's like, "What's wrong?" or something like that, and then Cap says, "I had a date," and then the movie ends.
Yeah, I love that ending.
Yeah.
And I love when he crashes the plane, too, and him and Peggy are talking. Emotional scene, for real. I mean, I know, like, he didn't die, and they get together in the end, but it's still an emotional scene, seeing that he was able to do that sacrifice. I just love this movie. At first, I didn't, but I went back and rewatched it, and it really is a good first origin story for Captain America.
It is. I love this movie.
Yeah, damn good. Now to close off this video, the ending of Phase 1, the best movie of Phase 1, The Avengers, which came out in 2012. Great damn movie.
Oh yeah, I believe I saw it 3 times in the theaters, and it was the first movie that I'd seen multiple times in theaters, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I saw it multiple times too, and this is in my top 3 MCU. I just love, like, everything, the interactions between these characters, seeing them for the first time coming together. The whole final, like, hour of this movie is spectacular. I just
Battle
love
of New
it.
York, yeah, can't go wrong with that.
Classic battle. And I think that how this movie starts with Loki is a really good intro.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the whole opening is awesome. They're at the underground facility, shield facility, right? One
Yeah.
of them. And then obviously Loki gets a hold of the Tesseract and everything, and then he gets out, and then
Takes Hawkeye too.
they're like, we got to call the Avengers.
Yeah, damn good opening. And I just love how they all get to one place.
Mhm.
You know, like Iron Man comes in with the whole AC/DC in the back, and it's just such a great scene. Like when Cap and Tony and Thor are fighting in the forest.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that so much. It's just like showing the big three like their first time meeting, and they are all arguing, of course.
It's really a fantastic scene, and then that goes into the whole helicarrier sequence, which is like 40 minutes of the movie. And there's some significant stuff that happens, like Hulk, he becomes the Hulk for the first time in the movie, and we lose Phil Coulson.
Yeah,
He
damn,
dies.
he was a good ass character, and Loki killed him. Of course, what an idiot. Loki was a good villain in this movie. I liked him a lot, and he's
Very menacing, and he's definitely up there as far as my favorite villains in the MCU.
And a lot of it comes from this movie, of course. And I love seeing like Black Widow and Hawkeye, like their whole backstory, Budapest. And hopefully we see that in the Black
That'd
Widow
be cool.
movie. And the whole scene when Loki like tricks Thor into going into the little cube that drops Thor out of the helicarrier, great stuff too. And Thor and Hulk's battle on the helicarrier.
Yeah,
good
and
too.
then I love all that stuff, and then that leads into the final battle in New York, which has countless moments that are just so iconic.
So many.
You've got Hulk smash, probably the best, right?
Yeah,
When
the
he's,
whole
like-
spin around of
Yeah,
them.
he does, and
Great
then he's like-
camera.
That's my secret cap. I'm always angry. Another great Hulk line.
Yeah, probably the best. And I just love when Hulk punches that thing and then it does the circle around. It's just so chilling every time.
Yeah, and then you've got another one where Hulk smashes Loki, and he's like, puny god.
And when Hulk punches Thor too.
Yeah.
When Tony takes the thing up to space, just a great sacrifice from himself. Cap said earlier in the movie, "Are you the one to make the sacrifice play?" And he does multiple times throughout these Avengers movies. He always is doing it. But it just shows you like Tony Stark was ready to give it up for everything, and he's a great hero. And I love when he goes up there and his like eyes close and he falls down and Hulk catches him.
Yeah, I love it. And then he's like, "Did this involve anyone, any mouth to mouth?" When he gets brought back by Hulk.
But also another good thing about this movie is Nick Fury. He's a great character in this movie, and Maria Hill too, introducing her.
Yeah, I love seeing the agent side, like the special agent side of the MCU.
Yeah, overall, this is maybe the most entertaining MCU movie. It might not be the most entertaining, but it is up there for sure. And I love this damn movie, and that whole battle in New York is so good. Like I said before, it might be one of my favorite battles in the whole Avengers.
Yeah, some people say this movie doesn't stand the test of time. I completely disagree. It's definitely one of the most enjoyable MCU movies. It doesn't have like the huge spectacle like Endgame and Infinity War, because that is like after years of payoff. But I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, and the effects hold up too. I think it was real clean. But overall, great movie. My favorite of Phase 1, and in my top 3, like I said. What about you?
Probably top 7.
Okay.
I have to really think about
So
it.
I like it more than you, but
Yeah.
it's still damn good. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, it is.
So that's a wrap for our MCU Phase 1 video.
Yep, you guys can expect Phase 2 and Phase 3 in the coming weeks. We'll get them out when we can. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like. Comment your thoughts on Phase 1 of the MCU down below. What's your favorite movie from Phase 1? Be sure to let us know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to us. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.